This week is our boativersary, which means that it's been exactly 1 year since we took ownership of our narrowboat, where we now live full time.
It's a video.
Oh, I'm just sitting on my boat. It doesn't belong to us yet, but it's going to. We bought a boat near Stoke-on-Trent and brought it south to Braunston, where we spent our first winter. For the rest of the year, we were continuously cruising and having lots of little adventures around the Midlands. Then in autumn, we started the slow journey south towards London, and we've got as far as Berkhamsted. But today we're going back to where it all began. Is today some kind of day for weird art out there?
Yeah.
We're actually here to go to a gig later, but first we did what all boaters do when visiting somewhere on foot that you can also get to by boat. We immediately went to check out the canal. Since we left London a year ago, it's always been the plan to come back by boat, but we haven't been in a rush to do it. We've spent our time living near small villages, lovely market towns, and quite a few stretches of nothing but fields and sheep. But still, the lure of London remains. Let's go and get a coffee. We've just had a recce of the moorings. Quite a beautiful coffee actually.
Yeah.
On our travels, we talked to a lot of fellow boaters about mooring in London. I'd been polling people at locks and things. A lot of boaters hate it. Many won't go further south than about Watford. It's hard to find moorings, facilities are limited and often out of action. There are all kinds of horror stories about crime, but we still wanted to make up our minds for ourselves. In practical terms, it seemed like an utter mystery how anyone ever got a mooring. Each time we'd walk down the canal, it was a wall of double moored boats, and we just couldn't work out how you'd ever find a spot. That's nuts. That's two side by side diagonally. How did these people get here, and how could we do it? If you've been following the vlogs for a while, you may be familiar with a segment we call How Much for This in London? After imagining what it'd be like going through Camden Locks, we retired to a pub for a sit down. We also checked in on the boat.
Okay, so we've been in Berco for the last week after we went into London. It's really nice here, so we've been really enjoying it, but sadly we're now out of water, so we're going to have to go and fill up our tank, go through some locks, and then plan our next move.
Bye, excellent mooring spot, we enjoyed you. The nearest water point was behind us, so we did a quick turnaround, but we needed to make a decision about which direction we'd travel in next. Every winter, the Canal and River Trust has a programme of stoppages for things like repairs of locks or work on bridges or the towpath. This means that between October and March, you can't navigate the network as usual. Parts of the canal are closed, sometimes for months at a time. So in winter, even if you're continuously cruising, you have to sort of pick an area that you'll get locked in on. And the upcoming closures would affect several parts of the Grand Union, which meant that we had to decide. Do we head further into London or turn around and start heading back for the winter? For a few weeks we'd been doing the old go with the flow, hoping the answer would naturally present itself, but as we approached the end of October, we had to decide. In the end, it made more sense to head back up to the Midlands for the winter months. With Christmas coming up, it made no sense to be in London when we'd have to travel to see family, and we couldn't leave Matilda on her own, and we also didn't want to leave the boat on her own in London either. So this actually brings an end to our trip south, this time. After we got water, we moored up again, and since we decided to head away from London, we thought we'd better get cracking early the next morning. I had just started doing The Artist's Way, which is a book by Julia Cameron, but it's kind of a course. You do lots of activities, take yourself on artist dates. One of the things she has you do is to write morning pages, so I started each day with 4 pages of kind of stream of consciousness writing, which I really recommend. It's a much more pleasant way of starting your day than scrolling on your phone or, God forbid, reading the news. We got the boat ready to go, and as soon as the Waitrose opened, we were in there to get ourselves a fancy meal deal for the road. There's a hive of activity out here. This is what's happening while we're asleep normally. People are just out here jogging.
We're leaving Berco. It's sad, but we'll be back. It's going to be a lot.
Yeah, it's going to be like not long. The next pound was incredibly empty, to the point where actually you could see the sides. It was like empty. So I've left the top gate open and ran a whole bunch of water in, which we're hoping is enough, because it's still a good like foot lower than it should be.
Oh yeah.
But also, like, I don't want to change the level up top too much, because there's also boats up there, and it's already dropped right back this much. You want to take this dead centre, because otherwise you're going down the side. Yeah. But I think we saw how shallow it was over there, so I think we're probably all right.
Yeah, hopefully we can make it.
But yeah, get in there. If it gets really bad, I'll open it again. So because we let the water in to the pound below, we basically just grounded every single boat in this section. And a nice gentleman just came out and said he woke up because he fell out of bed because his boat is on the side. We're going to have to just keep letting water in from above. And hopefully it'll fix itself as we go up.
Everyone was nice about it.
Everyone
in the
was,
sense of like, they just want us to fill the pan back up, which is fair.
Fair enough. But we wouldn't have been able to get into it if we hadn't have filled it up. So someone would have had to do it, but we're just doing it quite early. Okay, on we go.
Yeah.
Now those people are going to be big bad at us. What are we to do? While I was buying eggs, Andrew spotted something at the bottom of the lock he was in, so out came the grabber to investigate. It's a camera. It's a Nikon Coolpix. Well, if this works, it will be a miracle, but you never know. Fairly old school camera. It might have at least the photos might be recoverable from the SD.
Yeah. Fine, thank you.
Well done. Another triumph for the grabber. My tomato plant got completely battered by the wind. All of the branches broke off and it was just over. And the internet said I could get them to ripen on the vine inside, so I thought I'd give it a go. And these are the eggs I got from the Lockside cottage. Aren't they just beautiful? Reflecting on my first year of living on a boat, it's been a hell of a ride. I had no idea what to expect when I first suggested we buy a boat. I actually didn't think that much about it. I was somehow completely certain that I'd like it. And looking back, that's totally not a given. I could have hated it. Some people do. While Andrew approaches things in a quite analytical way and is quite sensible and data-driven, and of course had experience living on a boat, I'm definitely more on the intuitive side. For some reason, I just thought it would work out, and I didn't really consider the alternative. But then maybe if I knew too much, I might not have gone for it. And it's ended up being easily one of the best decisions I've made in my life.
Hey Sarah, if you took a trip on that boat, would you be taking a Siri cruise?
The move was definitely triggered by the rental market in London. I started looking at boats as an alternative living thing, but I was also looking at moving to a different country. It wasn't specifically about a boat at first. If there was an infinite supply of reasonably priced rental properties in London, I probably never would have considered living on a boat. It would have never come up. But getting our boat has completely changed my life. It's changed me. It's helped to solve problems I didn't even know were problems. I didn't realise how burnt out I was, or how much being around nature would help me. Being surrounded by nature, living within it basically, has been a joy I didn't even know I was looking for. And I didn't realise how much I would love the actual travel aspect of living on the move. We always have the option of living in a marina, but so far the constant change of scene has been perfect. I've learnt so much in this first year, and I have so many fun memories. It feels like I lived more in this 1 year than I don't know how many before it. And whether you've been here from the start or just started following our journey, I want to say thank you for being here. Recording our silly little adventures would have probably happened one way or another, but the whole editing and putting them together into a semi-coherent, watchable video, hopefully, I wouldn't have kept up with that if no one was watching it. And I've really loved having this record to look back on, so thank you for watching and for commenting and buying coffees and generally being so generous and kind with your feedback. Thank you to you, specifically, you. We eventually moored up in the exact spot that we'd been eyeing up when we first passed through here. The perfect spot was wide open as if it was waiting for us. And this ended up being one of our favourite moorings ever. More on that next time.